In this video, you're going to be learning about the most foundational concepts of the atom. We're going to be talking about the atomic structure, the subatomic particles, and their charge, mass, and location, the total mass of the atom, and the net charge. So first of all, an atom is the smallest particle that possesses the properties of an element. And that atom is composed of three subatomic particles. Sub is the prefix meaning under, so we have three particles that are under the level of an atom. We have the electrons, we have the neutrons, and we have the protons. Now, as you can see in this drawing already, we have the protons that are in the center of the atom, which is known as the nucleus. So we have the location of the proton in the nucleus. That is a positively charged subatomic particle, and it has a mass of 1 AMU, which is 1 atomic mass unit. Now, the neutron is fairly similar. The neutron is also located in the nucleus with the protons, except it is neutral. It has no charge, but it also has a mass of 1 AMU. Now, as for the electrons, as you can tell, are the outermost particle in the atom. These are in orbit around the outer part, which is sometimes known as the electron cloud, and it is negatively charged, and its mass is about 0 AMUs, which is actually 0.0005, but it's a negligible mass in most cases. What that means is the protons and neutrons are so much larger than the electrons that if you sum up the protons and neutrons and add the electrons onto that, the difference in adding the electrons is so small that we don't really care about it. It's kind of like if a speck of dust fell on top of an elephant, we wouldn't really be worried about that speck of dust changing the weight of the elephant. Now, we have our three subatomic particles covered. We talked about our basic structure. We talked about our subatomic particles with their charge, mass, and location. Now let's go ahead and check out its total mass. Now the total mass is basically what's in its nucleus. And as we said before, the only pertinent ones are the protons and the neutrons. So all we have to do is simply sum those up. So if we have the protons and neutrons, we can do a little simple addition to get that total mass. And if we had the total mass and one of the other variables, then we could find the third one. For example, if we knew the total mass was 10 and the number of protons was 3, we could take 10 minus 3 and we would know that there's 7 neutrons. So you can solve for any of the 3. It's not just a formula just for total mass. It might be one to solve for the protons, which is going to be the same as the atomic number on your periodic table, or you can use it to solve for the amount of neutrons as well. And the amount of neutrons can vary. Those can rise up and down, and you can have certain elements with more or less neutrons, but still remain the same element, which is a topic for another day, which those are known as isotopes. But as far as a certain element, the atomic number always lines up with the number of protons. Now, going into our last one, we already now covered the total mass. Let's go ahead and take a look at the net charge. Now, the net charge just basically means total charge. And the only things that are pertinent to the charge are the protons, and then we would say minus the electrons. So then we are basically including that the electrons are negative, or you could say protons plus electrons, and then the electrons are negative charges. Either way, you're basically taking the protons minus the electrons. Now for this one, if you have the protons and electrons, then you obviously have the net charge, and same as the total mass, if you have the net charge, you can kind of like work the other way around and then solve for protons or electrons if need be. Now, if the net charge is 0, that means that our atom is neutral. So in a lot of cases, you might be taking a look at a neutral atom. If there's any imbalance in the protons and electrons, then you would have a charged atom. So if you have more protons than electrons, then you would have a positively charged atom called an ion. And if you had more electrons than protons, you would also have a negatively charged ion as well. Those would be called two different names, though. If it were positively charged, that would be known as a cation, and if it ended up being a negatively charged atom, that would be an anion. But basically anything that is a non-zero charge would be known as an ion. So I hope that was helpful to you in covering some of the foundational concepts of an atom. Thank you for watching and listening.